Hi, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor. Today we're doing another coaching session for David, so thank you very much for the generous donation. This is going to be a Gangplank. I don't remember the ELO on it. I believe it's silver or gold. I'm not sure. I forgot to look that up beforehand. But either way, it'll be a good quality game. Let's talk about the pregame here. Now, first of all, I'm not an expert on Gangplank, so let's go ahead and get that out of the way right now. You know, and David knows this, signing up for this, right? He knows that I'm primarily a support player, but my heavy focus on macro, team fighting, positioning that I do teach for support also applies to a lot of other roles. So I'm going to do the best that I can to help David out with Gangplank here. I'm going to focus on a lot of macro level stuff, primarily in the video. Gangplank's a very difficult character to play. He's one of the most challenging champions in the whole game because you have to really know how to get those barrel combos off. Like, you have to hit people with the barrel, so there's just no reason to play Gangplank. You also have to have pretty good just macro knowledge to know when you should use your ultimate, where you should use it. And Gangplank is often best used as a split pusher, and so you have to have a lot of split push knowledge as well, such as when you should keep pushing, when you shouldn't, whether you should go with your team, whether you shouldn't. I don't remember if he took... teleport or something else, but I really like teleport on him. Yeah, he did take teleport. Good. I do see some GPs taking things like exhaust. You really need the teleport. Like, some people think that, oh, well, I have my ult so I can contribute. It's not enough. You need to still be able to teleport around the map to make plays. So there are a couple different ways you can rune GP. It used to be, I think, that Airy was the best. I mean, Klepto was cute, but Airy was primarily thought to be the best. It was just the best damage trading in lane, and it scaled the best. However, Airy has been nerfed, and the sorcery tree itself got nerfed several times. So I think that Klepto is actually pretty decent. Now, the data is going to be a little skewed because a lot of people love to run Klepto just because it's the most fun, obviously. But on like Champion.gg, like the Platinum people are all running Klepto. Actually, the highest win rate is still Airy. Klepto is the most popular, though, obviously. I mean, it's just the most fun. It's, you know, you just get a bunch of free stuff. However, I think it's legit now. Because the sorcery tree was nerfed so much, and I don't know how far back this data goes, honestly. It's probably over several patches. But Airy does give you good trading power. But you just lose a lot of AD off it. Airy itself has been nerfed, and then Celerity's been nerfed, Scorch has been nerfed, and Mana Flow Band's been nerfed. So everything out of Sorcery's been nerfed. I remember at the very beginning of the preseason, I said I think Sorcery's the most overpowered tree. A lot of people disagreed with me, at least a lot of other pundits out there. Turns out I was right about that one. There are plenty of things I was wrong about in the preseason, but that's been one thing that I was right about. Anyways, I think Klepto's the way to go. I would go for Biscuits. Biscuits are so good. They give you so much extra sustain in lane. And that's really where you want to be as GP. You just want to be hanging out in lane, just farming up your Q a lot of times, just stacking up that gold. You know, you don't want to get pushed out of lane, even with teleport. And so I think having those biscuits are phenomenal. Perfect timing is cute, but my issue with perfect timing is I mean, you could turn it into a GA later on for 600 gold, but you really don't want to get GA until 3rd item, you know, at the earliest, and often 4th item. And that's really, like, only if you're losing, you know, the lane. If you're doing very well, you just need to keep building more damage to become even more impactful. So, you know, your first item should be Trinity, your second should be Ghostblade. It's kind of variable after that, but I'd rather buy something like an Infinity Edge or a Sterix, or depending on which way you want to go with it. Something like that, rather than a GA. And you're priced into buying GA because this thing is just going to rot in your inventory for most of the time. Yeah, it does have a cute one-time use, but I just feel like a lot of times, especially after you use it that one time, it just sits there. And it's just going to feel really bad to sell it because you need to get, you know, like, control wards or just other things. I mean, it's particularly annoying as support to have this because you buy a lot of consumables, right? You get a lot of control wards, you get, you know, little pieces of items, like Rejuve beads and fairy charms and things like that. So maybe it's, you know, maybe it's okay on GP top, but I would rather have the biscuits most of the time just to... Because he's already going to have a pretty good late game, right? If you get to 3rd or 4th item, he's going to be really good. Where he has problems a lot of times, GP is that early game. Before he does a ton of damage, you can get bullied out in certain matchups, or if the jungler camps you. And so having those biscuits just ensures you're going to have a strong early game. And then I would probably go for the free boots are just amazing. you know, about a 400 something gold value, between 400 to 450, depending on how high you value those, the plus 10 movement speed. So you get the 300 boost, you get 50% off the boot upgrades, and then you get the 10 movement speed. So that's really good. And then I like the Cosmic Insight for the 5% CDR. Now, and then after that, it's kind of variable. A lot of people will go something like Ulti Hat Scorch. A lot of people get Scorch. Scorch just got nerfed on this patch. I'm not sure if it's still worth it or not. The 20 damage early is still pretty good, though. So you'd probably still want to get Scorch. I think Mana Flow Band could be legit. I mean, that could let you stay in lane longer because you're going to have more mana for more parlays. Now, I don't know GP. I know he gets Sheen early, so he's going to have some extra mana. But I would imagine, and I don't, you know, his mana is not really an issue, I guess, as the game goes on. But I just feel like early on, Mana Flow Band could certainly be pretty helpful. You can get Ulti Hat. Your ultimate already has a pretty long cooldown, though, so it's not going to get stacked up until the late game. And he's already really good late game, so I would just want more early game power. And I think Mana Flow Band, that'll let you parlay the enemy a little bit, too, instead of just the creeps. I would probably go with Mana Flow Band, but it's up to you. Another option that I have seen some pro GPs do is they'll go Taste of Blood Zombie Ward. This is once again to solidify your early game with Taste of Blood. Your Q can proc it. So if you look at the people who are getting Klepto here as their secondary, a lot of them will go for this Zombie Ward Taste of Blood. Zombie Ward is useful because when your ward times out, you get an additional ward for 3 minutes. Right, and so that means that your 1 minute wards turn into 3 minute wards, or like 4.5 minute wards or so. So it's very, very nice that you can have a lot of extra ward coverage to make sure you're not going to get ganked early. So that's the primary use of it, is that it turns your 1 minute wards into, you know, 4 minute or more wards, depending on how long it takes them to find and kill that. So I think that's really helpful. Inspiration also gives you better potion duration, so that's nice too. When you're chugging those potions in lane, and that's really good, once again, with Biscuit, right? Also, if you get Biscuit, then that will allow you to, if you get free Biscuits off of the Kleptomancy, which is totally possible, then it gives you, I think, 50 permanent mana on top of that, which is really nice. I mean, that's like 60 gold value. So I'm still a big advocate for Biscuits. I've been using that more and more in, like, with Zyra in lane. Is my secondary, like, Biscuit Boots, and I really like it a lot, especially on early harass champions, which is kind of what GP is. He's a cross between harass and farm, depending on how you use your parlays. But yeah, that's an option that people do. You can see it's about half the people actually opt for that. Taste of Blood. This guy goes Ravenous Hunter, but it's really the Taste of Blood's why you're going here. That's every 20 seconds when you hit somebody, you heal back a little bit. So that gives you the healing. Once again, you can get the healing off of Biscuits. That would give you an option. I guess you could technically go into Resolve for, like, Second Wind against really heavy harass if you're against, like, a cannon or something like that. But I think that Biscuits plus Taste of Blood will probably get you there if you're in one of those tough lanes. So there's a lot of different options, but this is sort of the standard I would recommend. It would be the Klepto, Biscuits, Boots, Cosmic, then Mana Flow, and Scorch. If you feel like it's going to be an even lane, or you're going to have the upper hand, or you can go for Taste of Blood plus something else to give you extra sustain. Now, he went for the ability damage, heals you for a lot. That probably, I'm sure it applies to barrels and a parlay, so that could give you double sustain in lane. So against really tough lanes, that might be good. Now, the build order, this is what most pros end up doing, and there's kind of a split, I've noticed, between pros and what the people on Champion.gg, the Platinum people, are getting. A lot of the Platinum people go for very heavy crit, which is something that I've always thought was really strong on Gangplank because his barrels can crit, and they do a ton of damage, especially because they ignore 40% armor. I'm not sure how that armor ignore stacks with, like, Lord Dominic's Regards or something like that, if they stack multiplicatively or additively. I have to think it's probably multiplicatively. And what that means is, you know, if something has 100 armor, if you, let's say that, you know, Lord Dominic's gives you 40% armor pen. I don't remember the exact number on it. It might be 35. Well, let's just say it's 40, just for easy math. If you get 40% armor pen on that, and you get 40% armor ignore on the barrels, if it stacks multiplicatively, it checks the first 40%, which should be from 100 down to 60. And then it does 40% of 60, which would be, let's see, 24? I believe 24. So then it would only check as though they had 24 armor. If it stacks additively, it would be 40 plus 40, and then it would take it all the way down to 20. So it'd be the difference in having 20 armor and 24 armor. So, you know, a lot of it's going to depend on whether it stacks additively or multiplicatively on how good, and I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find a clear answer on it. Usually things that have percentage armor penetration are, it's multiplicative, but it's the wording on it where it says it ignores 40% of the armor on target rather than applies 40% armor penetration or something like that. That has me a little curious. So I'm not sure how good any of the Last Whisper items do with the barrels. I assume it's good, but it's already ignoring 40. Now, I think it would apply the ignore 40 first and then the flat off of lethality. So it would ignore the 40% first, go down to 60, and then if you're getting, you know, 15 armor penetration off of your Ghost Blade, then that would take it down to 45. So that's a pretty good combo. I believe Trinity's obvious because the Trinity proc, whenever you press your Q, it procs Sheen, and that applies to the barrel. So that's obvious first choice on GP every time. You always want that Trinity Force. Just a staple. It gives him move speed. He just benefits from everything in that. Ghost Blade is something that has become a staple, and the reason for that is you get that extra movement speed. So you get the penetration, but it's that extra movement speed that allows you to split push better. And also allows you to run people down. You know, after you parlay hit them with a barrel, you can run them down and just melee them to death. Because you're going to get the extra speed off the barrel, you get the extra speed off of the Trinity, and then you can proc your Ghost Blade passive. And then run him down and kill him. Because he only has ranged, obviously, when he's casting his parlay. So after that's down, when you hit a barrel, you need to close the gap and finish him off, right? And so I think that's where the Ghost Blade plus Trinity comes in. You're just really fast. You can run away, or you can chase people down to hit barrels. So I think those two items are core. After that, it starts getting weird. So Infinity Edge, I think it's classically really good on Gangplank because the Q can crit when you fire it on him. So you're going to get a, and I don't think that the Sheen proc crits. I don't believe the Sheen proc crits. But you can run them down, crit them with the Infinity Edge. The Sheen proc still applies. I just don't think it's calculated in the crit damage. So this is basically the ton of damage. Also, barrels can crit. So this is the one-shot barrel kind of build here. That's what most people go. It is an expensive build. You know, Infinity Edge is very expensive. These aren't really that expensive, though. And these also give you extra movement speed, both of them. So you've got, like, 4 movement speed items plus massive crit. I think that seems like the ideal build. However, a lot of pros build him differently. So they are really big fans of going Sterix Gauge, which just got reworked a couple of patches ago. Like almost all of them, if you look here, are going Sterix Gauge. Which gives you 450 health, so it makes you a little bit tankier. Significantly tankier. Gives you 50% base attack damage. Now that does apply to Trinity. So if your base attack damage is 100 and you get 50%, then it's 150. Then you get the 200% off the Trinity hit, then that's going to be an extra 300 damage on that instead of 200 damage. So it does make your Q procs hit for a lot more, which is really strong. And then, you know, once you take 400 to 800 damage, then you gain a shield, and then you get extra tenacity for 8 seconds, and so on and so forth. So this is a defensive item that gives you a little bit more base attack damage. So it's kind of like a GA, but it has a nice interaction with, gives you more upfront tankiness and has a nice interaction with Trinity Force. So that seems to be what everyone runs, is like Trinity, Ghostblade, Sterix. Like everybody and their mother runs that build. That's what it seems like. Now you can use Duskblade as well if you want. I'm not sure if Blackout applies, or Night Stalker applies to a barrel shot. It says against an enemy champion, so I don't think so. I think it would only apply if you Q them. I don't think it would apply to everybody that you hit with a barrel. That would be extremely strong. But none of the pros are doing crit. So nobody's doing the crit build. But everybody on Champion.gg is doing the crit build. I'm not sure. I mean, it's tougher in the Challenger circuit. Like, you're going to get abused more as Gangplank. People are going to expose and exploit his early game a lot more. So maybe he feels like he has to build defensively. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I would tend, I'm not sure which ELO this is that you're playing in. Once again, if it's like silver, gold, bronze, I would go for crit. I would just go for take over the game and just one-shot people as Gangplank and just forget the defense unless you're really far behind. And if you do want defense, I would just get a GA or something to say. I feel like Sterix is too cute. There might be something that I'm missing there, but I would just go straight out, just hardcore damage on GP, especially if you're landing those barrels consistently. Now, David did send me a couple of images of what his build is, what he does. So it looks like he does do this game. He does go Trinity, Ghostblade, Mortal Reminder, Infinity. We'll see about that. If they have a lot of healing, we'll see what their lineup is. That might be okay. And then he does go for an Infinity Phantom Maw. So, yeah, we'll have to see how it goes here. I would prefer Static over Maw if possible, or even GA. We'll see. And then he does do the perfect timing, and he goes ulti hat scorch. Okay. See how that goes. And then, yeah, we won't spoil too much there. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the game here. And I'm going to take some... I think I got everything that I wanted to talk about on the sheet. Let me see. Yeah, so that basically covers it. Then max QEW. Okay, so yeah, you have two different build paths. You can either go for kind of the Steric, tankier, you know, Ghostblade, Steric, GA, Dominic, or you can just go for the straight-up hardcore damage build. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to take notes as we watch. Then at the end, we'll bring it all together and try to give you some good tips on how to improve. Start with. Okay, kind of a greedy start, but you know what? In Inspiration, I actually like it because... I don't guess that's too greedy of a start. Because you do get the extra bonus from the potions. Alright, so against the Fiora, obviously the key is just do not let her get those procs. This is... You need to be like standing against a wall or something over here. Yeah, there you go. As you go for these. Now, I don't understand the Spell Thieves. I have to look that up and see, like, what's up with that, because he doesn't have AP ratios. And... what am I missing? Killing minions slows tribute generation. Yeah, so you don't get procs when you kill minions. I mean, you do get mana regen, but at that point, you know, if you're really that hardcore about the mana regen, why not just get like a Doran's Ring or something, you know? If you're going that hard. Because you're not getting any tribute generation, because you keep killing minions, obviously. So it resets every time. Okay, you do get Bandit, though. Gain gold from attacking enemy champions. Maybe people are getting it because you get Bandit now. So you're not gaining gold off of the Spell Thieves. But you are gaining gold off a tribute. Is that what it is? You get 3 gold every time you hit her. So you get 3 gold every time you hit her. You get 10 ability power, which doesn't do anything for you. You're gonna have to flash this. You have to flash, yeah. Yeah, but you're not getting the extra damage. I mean, this tribute might as well not even be there. You're getting 2 gold per 10, 25% mana regen. Ability power doesn't do anything for you. I'm pretty sure your Q doesn't have an ability power ratio on it. And So you're getting a Fairy Charm, ability power doesn't do anything, and you're getting 2 gold per 10, and then 3 gold every time you hit somebody. Yeah, you need to watch out. I need to put your, yeah, because you know he could be camping you. Especially when she's doing this. This is weird as hell. I mean, it kind of makes sense because she's low, but at the same time, it could easily be a bait. So I would just push up and then probably back and then teleport back to lane. There he is. Origin. Okay, good. Attacker. No. Yeah, it was really... She was playing so far back. It was pretty suspicious. I mean, obviously I saw it beforehand, but especially if you burn your flash, you gotta know they're coming back. Alright, what do you buy? I mean, really, I feel like if you're gonna go Spell Thieves, just go Cole. I don't get the Spell Thief. I mean, okay, so every time... How often do you attack her, though? Okay, so you've earned 189 gold. Using this item. Now, Bandit... Using this item. Does Bandit count towards that? I don't know if Bandit counts towards that. I suspect people are probably doing it because of Bandit. But to me, I just feel like that just go Cole is what I think. Okay, I'll look it up a little bit more after in the post game and see like what's up with that, because I've seen people doing Frost Queens in other lanes, and I really don't get it, especially because GP doesn't have a any AP ratios that unless I'm missing something. I don't think his Q does. His oranges do. His oranges do, but I mean you're not going to be using those that often. I don't think. His ult might, but you're not going to have that for a while. Yeah, you don't want to just randomly barrel stuff like that, because now you're going to miss that CS. You only want to barrel if you're actually going to kill the CS. Like, you don't want to weaken CS with the barrel, because every time you kill CS with barrel, obviously you're going to get all the benefits from Parley. You're going to get the gold, you're going to get the Silver Serpents, all that stuff. So I think what you want to do as GP is, like, if you want to use your barrels to, like, clear waves... You want to get the things low, so just like auto attack these a few times, and then kill them with the barrel. So like auto attack each one of these like once, and then barrel it, and then it'll kill all 3, and then you get the gold from all 3. Unless you're just holding it to be defensive, which is decent here. Okay, where was that? Middle? I didn't see how low he was. It was against Zac, though. Zac has his passive, probably. I wouldn't use it there. I would save it for bot, if you're going to use it anywhere. Yeah, they're having some problems down here. Okay. I would be queuing her more here. No, don't use it randomly like that. I think you're not queuing her enough, because not only does it hurt her, obviously, but it gives you the procs. Like that's the whole build, right? That's the whole Klepto build. Is you need to be queuing her a lot. I think you're queuing the minions too much. So I would just keep a barrel near you and just go up and queue her a lot, like right there. Yeah, just have a couple barrels just sitting in lane and just keep walking up and queuing her. Now, if you had Mana Flow Band, there you go, good. Yeah, if you had Mana Flow Band, you would have a lot more mana here to just continually queue her. Okay, good. Push this in. There you go, there you go. That's what I want to see. More of that. Where you prep the wave, you get them all kind of low. No, 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 no. You prep the wave, you get them low, and then you use the barrel to blow them all up. So I would just do one more barrel there and blow them up and run. Yeah. So... you write some of this down here. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, so... we'll do the math on the spell thieves afterward, and we'll figure it out. Because I do see some people doing it. I'm just kind of curious myself if it's worth it or not, so... where'd you cast that? Oh, right there. He's nowhere close to dead. You gotta hold that a bit more, because now once Fiora sees that, she knows she can all-in you a lot easier, because you're not gonna have it. Like, if you use that, it needs to be for a kill. It's a pretty long cooldown, and it's very important. I mean, even using it, like, to push a wave here or something instead would be better. Then at least you get, like, 7, you know, gold worth of minions, and you could push it in there. Yeah, just push, 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 push. Yeah, just set up a barrel, get these low, and just push them. You're pushing way too slow. Like, there's bad stuff's gonna happen in the mid lane. Yeah, there's way too many people there. Like, they're probably going to kill them middle, and then they're going to take mid tower. Like, you have to at least get this tower, or rotate. Like, sitting here, just farming minions one by one is not enough. It's not enough punishment for them overloading on mid lane like that. You're just kind of running back and forth. Like, you need to fully commit. Like, either go down there immediately to follow, or push this as hard as you can. Like, just start auto-attacking, drop a barrel, and then just blow up all 6 of them. Drop, yeah, right there. No, 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 no. Okay, there. Yeah, you need to try to kill them all with the barrels. Okay, well, he got bot lane. Okay, well, they defended mid pretty well, so that's good. There. Right there. Now, auto-attack these once. No. Okay, I guess if you're using 2 barrels, that's fine, but I feel like you could have done that with 1 barrel. Drop 1 barrel, auto, and then auto these a few times, and see if you can get all 6 of them with a barrel. The single barrel. Be careful. They're both missing. Mid and jungle. Now, where is that? No, it... You gotta work on these ults, my friend. There's virtually no way you're gonna kill Fizz with one of those ults, first of all. Because he's so mobile, he's just gonna get out of it. And I would rather just keep the pressure top lane, so if Fiora all-ins you, you gotta make her scared. Like, if she all-ins you, she's gonna have to fight you through that ult, and that's really hard to do. If you just drop it on top of yourself when she's trying to go after you. Now, you know he's in one of these bushes, right? He has to be. And he can jump on you from, like, way over here, so you need to be careful. You do have your flash, but you don't really want to have to use that. Alright, freeze this right here, yeah. Alright, TP's not back up yet. He could very easily still be here, so... be ready to flash. So if you're going to go up, you need to be ready to, like, flash. If you see that Zac circle on you, flash immediately. Don't let him hit you and then stun you and then flash out with, like, 10% health. Like, you need to dodge the initial landing. Because if you're going to flash anyways, you might as well do it before he puts a lot of damage on you. Yeah, she's pretty late on those ripostes. So that's okay, but you could have also cleared this also, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could have attacked that twice before you blew up the barrel, and it would have got that in on the barrel. It doesn't seem like a lot, but, you know, there probably could have been an extra 20 or so minions that you could have had for the barrel. Now, so that it's going to give you a decent chunk of extra gold, but it also gives you silver serpents. Now, I'm not sure about, like, kind of the economy of the serpents, but I know that you want those upgrades quickly. So you not only get real gold, but you also get kind of this GP-specific currency. Now, what does she have? You need to keep track of her items. Okay, Phage, Tiamat. Alright, so she's going Infinity. Or not Infinity, Trinity. Okay, and you've got your Trinity completed, so you really need to get in there and fight. Decent, but once again, I know you're trying to defend the tower. I think I would have done that earlier if you were going to do that. You gotta work on this ult usage a bit. Okay, you should be able to beat her now. Like, pretty hardcore, because you've got Trinity completed. I think if you're going to go for this Spell Thieves, you really have to Q the enemy a lot more. Now, you're probably dead here. Maybe not. I would hang out of that bush and just try to barrel more. Okay, that was pretty slick. It's pretty slick. I like it. Wow. Oh, I can't believe it. She didn't die. Oh. Well, for real? He didn't attack anything else to stun you? Wow. All right. Yeah, I think definitely if you're going to run Spell Thieves, you're probably going to have to attack several times to make it worth it in lane. So yeah, once again, just queuing the Fiora more. Because you're going to get 10 gold off of this and then 3 gold off of the Bandit. That's like 13 gold every time you queue her. It's pretty good. In addition to obviously just putting damage on her. So if you queue a minion... If you queue a minion, you're only getting an extra, like, 5 gold. If you queue her with Bandit plus Klepto, I think Klepto's 10 gold. And you're getting 13 gold. So you're actually getting far more gold just to spam queues on Fiora with that build than you would even to queue the minions. Alright, how we looking here in terms of... What does she have? Okay, she's still pretty far behind you on build. You've earned 551 gold off of that so far. By like 19 minutes. What's your CS at? 156. So yeah, I mean, you could have cashed in a coal a while ago at that rate, which would have been 300 gold. And you would have gotten an extra 1 gold per minion killed. So that would have been like 450 gold if you start off with a coal. You're farming pretty well this game. Yeah, but you could have had 450 off of coal. I mean, you do have like 600 here off of that. Now, coal doesn't give you the mana regen also, I guess. It does give you the health regen. But it also gives you the 5 on-hit damage, which the Spell Thief is not going to give you on-hit because you never get the Trinity. So I don't know. We'll have to analyze it. I'm really curious about this now. Okay. Yeah, you should have... I mean, I'll rewind that a little bit there. You should have backed up after the tower because you don't have clear vision of Fizz. And getting the tower is fine, but yeah, you gotta know his Fizz. He's actually right there, but it's too late by the even if you see him there. Like Fizz is really strong. He's really far ahead. Yeah, Aatrox didn't do you any favors. Keep running. Don't. No. He's gone. Don't run. Okay, you were actually out if you just ran. Alright, you got your Ghost Blade. That's good. Yeah, you're crushing her in farm. Wait. Where'd you ult? Oh, you just probably ulted the wave to get Fizz off of it. I guess that's okay. Fizz is not really a threat to take the tower, though. I mean, he does have Lichbane. Okay, I guess that's legit. You do have 30% CDR now for the ult. But you don't have it if there's a fight breaks out down here, though. And let's push as fast as you can. I would rotate down here, yeah, and start farming this. Yeah, that was a fail. Nice. Crit that fish. Actually, I don't think he crit him. He just crushed him. I probably would not get Mortal Reminder here. And the reason is, most of their threats are not tanks. Like, yeah, Zac, but... I feel like you can work around Zac. Like, I feel like the big thing right now is you just want to kill the fish, like, ASAP. Or the Zac, or the Fiora. Like, all of those are very squishy, and they're all, like, you're getting clean shots at them. Especially the Fiora and the Fizz are all going really far out of position to try to go for kills. So, I think you can exploit that. I mean, you could get Maw here, or not Maw, Steric's Gauge. If you want to have a little more defense against Fizz killing you. I think Steric's would be reasonable. Because that would give you nice hybrid damage plus some defense. Having the tenacity would be really nice against Ashe and all these other crowd control people. So this would be one where I would probably actually get Steric's third. Okay, good. Fiora's flanking right here. Yeah, as far as the boots go, I would probably just go Mercury Treads here instead of Swifties. Like, Swiftness, they're okay, but I would get some resistances, especially because Fizz is so big. Even when you bought your tier 2 boots, I think Fizz probably had like 3 or 4 kills. So I think getting some kind of defensive boots is just better than Swiftness most of the time, either Ninja Tabi or Mercury Treads. Nice. I think you need to be splitting side lanes right now. Aatrox is kind of doing that, but... Okay, good. That's a good ult. That's what you want to be doing. Winning fight, your team's ahead, they're engaging into you, and then you ult. Clean them up. Baron? Yeah, you can just take tower here. Tower's fine. As long as, well, that's... Okay. Tahm Kench is saving you. Yeah, don't. Just get the tower. I think Baron would have been better. Baron's better than a single tower. If you got the inhibitor, it's fine. You're not even going to get the single tower. Yeah, I think my initial call was right. I think Baron... Because it would have been just Fizz. And y'all should, in theory, be able to do it very quickly with GP, Aatrox, and Varus. Yeah, I think y'all could have done Baron immediately. Like, once you got all those kills and took this tower, just rotate over to Baron. It's because I think your team comp just takes it very fast. With, like, 3 auto-attack, heavy AD champions. Yeah, I understand the mortal... for Zac and like wanting to do that. Like, it also kind of stops the healing from Fiora a little bit, which is nice, but I still think just having more damage against the squishy targets would be better. Or Sterix. I think that Sterix is probably the best call because it gives you more damage plus survivability against someone like Fizz. But I could see Infinity Edge also. Yeah, I don't think the armor pin is completely necessary. It's because a lot of their squishy targets are pretty available, like they're pretty out of position. Like Fizz just is like runs into 3 people like this all the time. So in other words, I don't think you have to kill Zac and Ali to get to their back line. I think they give you plenty of opportunities for that. So I think if that's the case, you just want more damage. Okay, there you go. Yeah, focus up. Get all the stuff. Alright, run out. Yeah, get Dragon. Not Baron, not Baron. It's too late for Baron. I think. I don't know. I mean, if they stay here in plain vision, but you know they're going to go look at it. I would have just gotten Dragon and backed. Alright, what are you getting here? More damage, BF Sword. Okay, now you're probably getting Infinity Edge. Yeah, I mean, it is just Wind Dragon, but... I would not Baron. I guess it worked out, because they didn't have it warded. I could have Sworn that Allie like walked over there to ward it a little bit, but maybe not. Alright, it worked out, and y'all just close it out from here, pretty much, or what? Well... Nah, they overstayed. I would have probably pinged them back after they got the second inhibitor. It's because it was going to be 2v5. Go get this. Wait on the... Just do not fight. You need to wait. Like, pushing up this is fine. Just farm some stuff. It's like farm the Scuttle, farm Grant. Just keep Vision on here. You need to have more control wards too. That's one thing that I forgot to mention. You need to have more... So you ended up selling the stopwatch too. I'm not even sure how much it sells for, but... Look, I'm about to sneeze. Yeah, if you're not even going to get a GA at some point... I mean, yeah, the stopwatch did allow you to make that cool play there, but... I just think that Biscuits would have helped you out a lot more in lane. Okay, that's pretty nice. I don't know what he's doing. No, don't ult. No. He's just trying to throw really hard. Like, just don't even use your ult there. Just hold it for a big team fight. Like, if somebody's doing something dumb and you have a huge ultimate that's great for team fights, just don't even use it. Okay. Yeah, just keep splitting at this point. They're all just getting caught and killed. Just don't die. Yeah, there's really no point to flash there. God. Yeah, that's where the Sterix would be handy. Although, to be fair, he'd probably kill you even if you had Sterix. You need to ping them back. I think Fizz is just going to kill them all, right? Ooh, man, y'all are falling apart. And a lot of this was because people tried to end the game. After you got this, when you were dead or backed, they tried to run in here and basically 2v5, and then ever since then it's just been a circus. So they are definitely back in this game. So yeah, I mean, I thought the game was pretty much done too. I was like, okay. But it never really is done until the Nexus is blown up. So you gotta ping people back more. So I'm gonna say shot call more. Shot call more, stop the Fiesta. Other people are pinging, but I haven't seen you ping yet. Now, I know that sucks. Sometimes, you know, we all want everyone just to do the right thing, and you shouldn't have to tell them this stuff. Like, they should know these things, like not to go in 2v5, but they just don't, clearly. So you gotta, you know, in as nice and a cordial way as you can, get them to stop making bad decisions. Like, that's a huge part. Oh my gosh, he actually gets away. Wow. Maybe. Oh, he ran right by the Fizz. And Fizz is suiciding to go get him now. Wow. Okay. Fizz is dead. I mean, y'all can, if you kill this guy, don't chase him. Just run up middle. Get this inhibitor. Don't chase him. Don't chase him. Who cares? Just go get this. If Fizz is dead, you guys have to make the most of that, because he's the raid boss. Go get top. How long do you have on Fizz? Yeah, 25 seconds on Fizz. Alright, well, that mortal reminder is paying off now. It is paying off. Okay, y'all gotta get out of there. Fizz is probably back, right? Yeah, here he comes. Yeah, you gotta watch those timers. I do like going up here and going for that while Fizz is down, but it just kind of failed. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe someone back there or something, but I like going for it, but if you don't get it in like the first 10 seconds or so, you just gotta leave. Yeah, getting a dragon. That's actually a big dragon. Okay, that's good. Oh. Touché. What do you have? I don't like Maw Malmortius. I would much rather see you get a Sterix Gauge there. It's because Sterix Gauge just interacts so much better with Trinity Force. Oh no! She got you. Oh, you got to flash out of there or something. You can't let her kill you like that. Especially right now. I mean, she has a lot of damage. She's got 3.5 items. So I know you've been kind of crushing her all game, but you are still really squishy. Once again, Sterix would be a spot there, right? Because the Fiora doesn't do magic damage, so Maw doesn't help you there. But if she gets on you like that, it looks like she flashed on you, or she flashed over the pit. If she gets on you like that, then Maw would actually give you a really nice shield. It's 75% of your bonus health, I believe. So you probably have like 500 bonus health. If you get Maw, it's 450, and Trinity gives you like 250 or something. So that's like 700. 75%, that'd be like, you get like a 500 shield, which probably would have saved you against Fiora. In addition, it just gives you 450 flat out health. So it'd be like an extra 1,000 effective health against Fiora. So yeah, I really don't like the Maw of Malmortius. I would get Sterix. If you want kind of a defensive shield-ish type of item, either Sterix or GA, and I probably tend to favor Sterix. So yeah, Maw might save you against an all-in from Fizz, but Sterix will have a similar effect, and it's just gonna be much more efficient against other AD users, and it'll give you similar damage. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, turn, get that Fizz. Good. That's good management there in that fight. Yeah, I just run it up middle here. Now, stay close to these minions. Remember, they move faster if you're close to them. Because of the Baron. Okay, good. Alright, y'all got it. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, let me, I just want to see, are pros actually... Because that would be the type of thing where, in theory, pros should be, if that's what... Yeah, a lot of them are going to start with Sapphire Crystals that gets you to your Sheen faster. Rather than Spell Thieves. He starts Dorans. To me, I feel like Spell Thieves is a bit too cute. Yeah, he starts Sapphire. He actually goes for a Hydra, which is interesting. Now, he lost that game, but what does Khan do? I mean, Khan's gonna... He's gonna know what's up. He starts a Corrupting Potion. Okay, so that's good for trading. He's going Grasp. Yeah, most people just go Sapphire Crystal. So it gives you a lot more mana for your first back, and that helps you get to Sheen a lot faster. Yeah, it looks like Corrupting or Sapphire Crystal. Sapphire is basically saying, I'm going to farm. Corrupting says, I want to fight. Yeah, nobody's... Yeah, nobody's going for Spell Thief. I mean... And let me look at Gangplank here again. Okay, so it's AD. The only AP is on your... You get a little bit on your ult, and you get a little bit on your W. But it's not really going to be that useful early on. So the AP is basically a dead stat. 2 gold per 10 is nice. The 25% base mana regen is okay, but the problem is he has really low base mana regen, right? They have like 6 or something? 7.5. So, you know, that means you're going to get like maybe 4 mana per 5. Means you're going to get 48 mana per minute. Roughly. And Ruby Crystal actually builds into one of your items. So that's like 350 gold off of your Trinity Force if you get this early on. So it actually builds into one of your core items, your Trinity, so it helps you get that a lot faster. Whereas this thing is just dead weight. Like, it sells back for a really low amount too, doesn't it? Because it's a gold item. Yeah, it only sells for 140. So effectively, you're losing 210 gold to get this item. So you're paying 210, whereas if you got Sapphire, not only are you not losing the 210, but you're actually gaining 340 because it builds directly into your item. So think about it that way, right? So we've got 210 is kind of wasted gold, and then the 350 as 560 gold. So basically, you know, with Sapphire, if you're picking this, you have to generate more than 560 gold off of that in order to make this worthwhile. And the Sapphire gives you a lot more mana early on. It's 350 mana. Because we just saw that you got, what was it, it's 48 mana per minute. Sapphire gives you 300, it costs 350 gold. I forgot how much mana it gives you. Let me see. Probably spelled Sapphire wrong there, yeah. Gives you 250 mana. So basically 5 minutes or so. It's going to take you 5 minutes worth of passive regeneration off of that item in order to get the Sapphire Crystal value. So yeah, it's really, really slow to equal the same mana value in the lane. You're paying a lot of gold, effective gold, what is it, like 580 or something? 560 gold. To have this, you're losing a potential 560 off your Trinity Force. Yeah, you're gaining 2 per 10. This doesn't even work because you're constantly killing minions. This doesn't even matter. So you basically only get this. You get a dead stat. You get 25 base mana regen, which is a lot less than Sapphire Crystal. You get Bandit, which is 3 every time you hit somebody. Now, I'm not sure if it counts as 10 because he's a melee champion, but he's hitting with a ranged attack. So you might get 10 gold. So let's say it's 10 gold. And let's say that you're able to attack somebody, that you use your Q on somebody maybe 6 times. Let's say 5 times in lane per minute. 5 times per minute you're able to Q somebody. Now, you're going to run out of mana doing that, but just as an example, I guess we'll just do that. So that would give you 50 mana, and then you get, what, 2 gold per 10. So that would give you 12 more. So that'd give you basically like 62 gold. It would take you 9 minutes to equal that. So it would be like 11 or 12 minutes into the game. So pretty much you're getting a dead stat early in like a really rosy scenario where you're getting 5 Qs off on somebody if it counts for 10 gold per. And I'm not sure that it does. It might be 3 because you're hitting them with a ranged attack, but you're coded as a melee champion. I don't think that it procs like Hydra and stuff like that. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not going to look all that up because this video is already getting a little on the long side. Yeah. For a coaching video. But no pros are getting it, and just logically, I think that it's just too slow. It's going to take 9 or 10 minutes, even in the rosiest of scenarios, to make the Bandit plus passive gold give you the same kind of gold efficiency that you would just get with Ruby Sapphire. So I think just going Ruby Sapphire. Also, keep in mind, you get your Sheen faster. Like, you get your Sheen on your first back much faster, and you have more gold to advance your build, and that's going to give you a power spike advantage, right? So if you can get your Sheen on your first back early, then you can go ahead and start leveraging that to start hitting them with Qs that are actually going to hurt. early on. And so not only is it just like a raw gold kind of thing, but it also sets behind your entire build so that you have a much slower power spike and you're not going to be able to leverage your advantage in lane as much. And you could get bullied out by the Fiora more. So yeah, I think you just don't want this. I feel like you go Sapphire. If you want to fight early, you go Corrupting Potion, which is pretty nice because it lasts 20% longer. You know, with the inspiration bonus. So I think it's either Corrupting Potion or I wouldn't go Corrupting Potion. I would just go Biscuits. If you're in inspiration, you're going to get a lot of potions anyways. I mean, you should be using your Qs on them. Like, if you go Biscuits plus Mana Flow Band, then maybe this works if you can Q them like 5 or 6 times per minute. But I would still probably err on the side of Sapphire. It's going to give you a lot more Qs before you have to back. Because once you use all of your Qs, you pretty much have to back anyways. Cash in that gold. So I think that starting off with that would probably be better. I mean, if you want to go for a greed build, like, you could maybe go Coal. I don't know why I'm typing in caps there, but that does give you some health regeneration. It does give you attack damage. I thought it gave you on hit. Oh, you get the health on hit. It does give you 7 attack damage, which is pretty good. I mean, it does give you a little bit more fighting early on. And you get 350 gold. I thought it was 300. So after killing 100 minions, you get 350 gold. And you get +1. Okay, up to 100 gold. +1. So basically, you can get up to 450 gold off of this. So 450 gold. So you basically get it back as a free item. And you sell it for 180. But that's still not going to be as gold efficient as Sapphire, because Sapphire you don't sell back. You just straight up get, it turns into something. So it doesn't slow down your build, it progresses your build. So I really don't think Coal, I mean, basically, it just turns out to be a free 180 gold, because you just sell it back anyways at the end. It gives you a bit more fighting power early. So I think the best option is probably just go Sapphire. Or, I mean, if you're really scared, if you think they're going to all in and you want to fight them early on, then you can go Doran's Blade, which does give you that flat extra health for all-ins and the extra attack damage. So Doran's Blade is kind of like the I'm scared that I'm going to get killed early. And then Sapphire is like the, you know, the most gold-efficient item you can get because it builds into your later items. And it gives you the mana so that you have more parlays before you have to back. And it builds into Sheen, which is the best component, early game component. So I think that going Sapphire is the best thing. It's the most gold efficient because you don't have to sell it, and it just accelerates your power curve. So that's what I would build. Okay, so we'll note that down. And then so Q Fiora in lane more, take advantage of that Klepto, because it not only stacks damage on her, it gives you more gold, and it gives you more potions so that you have even a greater advantage in lane. And stacks of gold, and you could potentially even get, you know, like an early flask, a little mini flask or something like that, which gives you a massive advantage. So just try to queue her more in lane. So you do this some, but there were several times where I saw you use a barrel to get the minions low, and you'd either kill them by hand or you'd use a second barrel to kill them. When I think you could just auto-attack the minions a couple of times, just have the barrel sitting there, and then blow it up and blow a lot of them up at once. So you never, I don't think you usually want to use barrels just to get a minion wave low. Like, you want to be using that barrel to try to get the last hits on the minions so that you get all the bonus gold for it. So just try to work on that. You did that sometimes you didn't, but just try to be a little bit more consistent with that. And I don't know all of the math behind Sterix, or like why a lot of these pros are getting it. I looked at it. It is expensive at 3,200. So it does grant you 338 shield off of Sterix. Tenacity, it stacks multiplicative with like Mercury Trez, but that can still be pretty good. That's Tenacity is 30% reduction in crowd control on you. Bonus AD ratio on abilities. Okay. So bonus AD ratios on things like your Q don't apply. However, it does apply to Lichbane and Trinity Force, and it does the math here for you. That's 100% base AD damage. So that's a lot. It's like an extra 100 damage or so. Or even, yeah, it's probably like 100, between 100 and 150 base AD damage, and that applies not only to your Q, but obviously to barrel when the barrel blows up. So that's a pretty big amount of extra damage, 100 extra damage on your barrels. And it obviously applies to your auto attacks as well. So you would get an extra, 50 damage on your autos. So that's like having 50 AD in that sense. But it actually scales really, really well with Trinity. Because instead of just being, your Q, I think, has a 100% AD ratio. Instead of just being a... Now... Bonus AD. Does that apply? It says 100% of your total AD, not your bonus AD. So I wonder if that applies to this. I think it does. So I think it double procs. So this is 100% of your total AD, not your bonus AD. So that extra 50% applies to this. So if your base AD is something like, 90, then this would be an extra 45 damage on this, in addition to 45 damage applying to Sheen proc, which is 2 times your base AD, so that would be an extra 90 damage. So then your Q would get an extra 180 damage on it. Which is, okay, now I'm starting to get why a lot of the pros go for that item, because I'm pretty sure that the Q proc does apply your base AD, so if you get more base AD, it applies that. It doesn't apply bonus AD. Okay, those two have AP ratios. So some champions have bonus AD on abilities, but this is total AD. So I think it does apply to the Q itself and the Trinity separately. So that's a lot of extra damage on this item. And it also gives you a really nice shield for 75% of your bonus health. Which, once again, you're not going to have a ton of bonus health, but this gives you 450 bonus health, and... I mean, this effectively, before you die, it gives you 337 by itself. So it's effectively giving you like 737 or 787 health, almost 800 health off of this item before you die, because you're going to trigger this. And keep in mind that this applies to, and it has a pretty low cooldown, only 60 seconds. This applies to magic damage and physical damage. And you get 30% tenacity. So yeah, I'm starting to see why people like this item. That's actually really, really good, especially for Trinity users. So yeah, I would heavily consider getting this Trinity, Ghostblade, Sterix, and then if you want, go for that Infinity Edge after that, because this just looks beast mode. Especially if they have a really fed assassin like a Fizz, just having that extra effective 800 damage. And Trinity's going to give you some AD, or some HP rather. It's going to give you 250. So that gives you even more of a shield. So yeah, I would definitely opt into Sterix there. All right. Yeah, go for the high probability of success, like either getting a kill, getting an assist, or farming a lot of minions off a minion wave. Like, don't cast an ult on somebody just because they're out of position and getting chased. As you saw, most of the time when you did that, the person died anyways, and it was just a wasted ult. When you could have held on to it top lane to pressure Fiora more, or even just pushed a wave, like after all the fighting bottom and everybody dies, just go ahead and use it on that wave or something down there. You know, you'll get the 150 gold out of it or whatever, and then it's going to deny 150 and experience to the enemy. So just be a little bit more, go for a higher probability of success plays with that ultimate. I think too many times you're kind of throwing it in there like, oh crap, we're in trouble, let's throw it in there and see if I can help my team get out of a bad situation. Whereas more often you want to look at, okay, this looks decent, like a 50-50 fight, and I can turn the fight with this. Especially trying to use it against like Fizz or Zac, who are both low. Zac has his passive, which will probably save him, or he can jump out of it, and then Fizz can jump out of it too. So those aren't really good targets for the ult. Okay, so... shot call more, stop the Fiesta. You know, just ping people back if they're doing silly things. Let them know where they should be going, what they should be doing. Some people on your team were already doing this. They were shot calling a little bit, but you need to step in and do some more yourself to help out with that as well. I think you personally were doing a pretty good job of being in the right place at the right time for the most part. But you need to try to get other people to do the same thing. Okay. Watch death timers and retreat when dangerous enemies spawn. Yeah, so watch those death timers. Like when Fizz is about 5 or 10 seconds from coming up, y'all need to get out of that base because he's going to come out and kill you. So I liked when you went up to try to get that second inhibitor, but then once they stalled you out there and you were doing that really, really long fight with Zac, you just need to run out of there after Zac's dealt with, right? Because you need to know, oh crap, Fizz is about to come up. We need to get out of here. And then finally, oh, I talked about Sterix, but I'll just say it again here. Sterix is greater than Maw of Malmortius. I mean, let me look up Maw of Malmortius, unless it's a related item. It is. Okay. So if we compare it to Maw, they're basically the same price, 3,200. It does give 10% CDR, which is very nice on GP. That would give you the full 40%. CDR boots are also not awful on GP. It'd give you a lower cooldown on your TP. And if you get Trinity, Ghostblade, and CDR boots, you'd be at 40%. So Ionian boots wouldn't be a terrible idea on GP. Then if you would take magic damage, it reduces you below here. You get a shield for blah, blah, blah. This is just a magic shield, though. And it's 100% of your bonus magic resist. You're not going to have bonus magic resist in your build, other than off of this item. So it's a dinky shield that's about as much, or probably even less, than Sterix. Yeah, you do get the 20 attack damage and Spell Vamp and, you know, Lifesteal. Like, this is cute. It's alright. The magic resist is nice, but it doesn't have that same level of interaction because this is plus 50 attack damage. So that's going to give you the same thing on your Q, similar to what you would get normally with GP, but it's not going to apply to your Trinity Force procs. And so basically it's less damage because it doesn't apply to Trinity Force, and the shield is a lot weaker. I would say it's less survivability as well. Like, you're getting 45 magic resist, but you're losing 450 health, which is a lot. I mean, if we think about, it depends on how much magic resist you have, but let's see. If you had no magic resist and this was giving you that, it would reduce the damage taken by like 31%. Oops. So if you're taking more than, I guess, like 600 magic damage, then that might be better than 450 flat health. I don't know, because your base magic resist is also going to apply to that. I don't know. I can't do all the calculations, but you have to take a significant amount of burst only magic damage for like 400 or for 45 magic resist to be more valuable than 450 health. So, and that doesn't do anything against Fiora. It doesn't do anything against Ash. It's strictly for, I mean, it's for Zac and Fizz, basically. Now, the 10% CDR is nice, like I said, but I feel like even, like, 450 health is more universal. It's a similar defensive stat to 450 magic resist. Strictly from a gold point of view, the 450 health is worth way more. I mean, 45, I think. 810 gold worth of stats. Yeah, so, you know, you're getting almost 50% more gold, bang for your buck gold-wise, off of the bonus health on Sterix than you would off the magic resist here. So, less damage, similar resistances against magic, far worse against physical, both in the baseline and in the unique passive. And then you're getting tenacity, which is really nice, especially against their team. They had a lot of crowd control versus this little bit of extra, you know, damage, spell vamp, lifesteal, whatever. So I think Sterix is just far, far better on GP and just anyone that's going to use Trinity Force. Like, just nobody gets this item anymore, hardly. So that's something also to consider. Okay, I think that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again for the donation, and have a great evening.